Hi everyone, welcome to the Marshashana Yoga Show. We know that music can be intimately connected to our minds, bodies, and emotions. There are many studies that have established the positive effects of listening to music. It can make your mood better, make you happier, and decrease anxiety. Professional music therapists, my choir director is one, who was on the cutting edge of this back in the day, have worked with the idea of this connection. Studies have shown that those individuals who listened to music before, during, and after surgery had less anxiety and less pain. In fact, many didn't even require pain medication. Yeah, it's non-invasive, inexpensive, and has no bad side effects. My son Mark is a musician, and I absolutely love music, many different kinds. I know how music can sometimes make me sad, like when I hear a song that reminds me of my brother who died a long time ago, or lift me up when I hear a Led Zeppelin song that brings me back to that concert in 1973. It can calm or excite. And as with the yoga, I love when the science behind it backs it up. The fact is, when music is combined with proven stress reduction techniques such as visualization, breathing, guided imagery, and affirmations, the resulting auditory experience can bring a reduction of stress in the body, mind, and spirit. It can even help people heal more quickly. Our guest today has worked with the foremost experts in these areas, including researchers and child psychologists who have studied which techniques work best with children of different ages and different stages of development. She creates healing/relaxation CDs and MP3s for children and adults. The narratives feature established methods and have been reviewed by experts in this field. In addition, the narratives have relaxation music playing in the background that was recorded with Boston musicians. This background music was composed utilizing the latest research on what makes music relaxing. Since the mid-90s, my guest has created these CDs for children and adults in her music studio located in Upton, Massachusetts. This music has been helpful to people prior to a taxing event such as surgery, and also to children in stressful situations. My guest is also an ABA therapist and has worked with many children on the autism spectrum as well. Her latest project is a driving audiobook entitled Happy Driving. Could a calming CD for driving be helpful to you during that long commute or on a family road trip? My guest thinks so. And she is here today to talk about this as well as other topics. Her name is Sarah Freeman, and she is founder of Airy Melody Music. Sarah, tell me, how did you go about starting this whole thing? How did this whole thing start for you?
Well, you know how it can be when you're driving. You get in your car and maybe you rehash an argument you had with someone. You go over it and over it in your mind. And you see other drivers who aren't paying attention. There's people cutting you off. There's bad traffic conditions. All of these things can actually increase your stress level while you're driving. So we wanted to create a product that would help reduce people's stress levels while they're driving, even when they're driving through challenging traffic conditions.
I know this is your latest project, the driving CD, so.
Yeah, this is very different than anything else we've ever done, because other things we've worked on were bedtime products that were designed to help people relax and fall asleep. So our customers who had been using those asked for something they could use while they were driving.
But not fall asleep.
Right.
Okay.
We had to tell them, don't listen to this while you're driving your car, while you're driving your truck, or in one case we had to tell them, don't listen to this while you're flying your plane.
Right.
So, you know.
That would not be good. So how does it differ then from the other things, this driving CD? Because this you want to relax but not fall asleep.
Exactly. Well, we have 11 tracks that have narratives on them. And these narratives have stress reduction techniques that were developed specifically for driving. And different narratives feature different techniques. and different narratives use different narrative techniques. And each narrative is set to background music. And the background music itself is a pretty eclectic mix of music. It's from all over the world, and it includes acoustic guitar, acoustic piano, classical, R&B, Americana, and I guess that's about it. So it's different narratives, it's different techniques, and it's different background music. And we did this so that people would have a variety of things to choose from. And the CD also has, just for fun, it has 2 R&B songs and a classical guitar piece without a narrative. And these were recorded with some of Boston's best studio musicians.
So you've put a lot of research into this, Sarah, and this goes back a long ways. Now give me some background, like where this all starts from.
Well, we started making relaxation and healing products for children and adults. You know how some people are just kind of naturally relaxed and calm and serene? Well, I'm not one of those people.
Me neither, Sarah.
So as a result, I've spent a lot of time in my life figuring out ways to calm down. Yoga, very good example.
Exactly.
Meditating, affirmations. And as a musician, I've also always been very interested in different qualities that music can have that actually help you relax. And there's been a lot of research into this. So I wanted to combine some of the techniques that help you relax with the background music. And I had the fortune of working with doctors in Boston at Dana-Farber and researchers developing narratives that helped people relax and fall asleep. And then I had background music that I set it to. So that is what our company had been doing. But like I said, people were asking for something they could use while they were driving.
Right. And you've got me thinking here now, maybe not just driving, but maybe in other places, times like right before a very intense meeting that you were going to or something like that, where you don't want to be sleepy, but you want to be relaxed.
That's true. You could use that for that too. Or you could use it while you're driving to your meeting. I mean,
right. Just to use it for what it's intended.
Well, this CD actually helps you reduce your stress level. I mean, according to our focus groups, people have left work feeling very upset or left home feeling very upset, very stressed out. They pop the CD or the MP3 version in, and they listen to it while they're driving. And they report that when they get to their destination, they're actually feeling calmer. They're less stressed, they're more relaxed, they're less reactive to other drivers.
Makes perfect sense. It's kind of like a meditative quality. And I know in yoga, I think a lot now. I used to get angry, when I was behind the wheel, and now I don't do that anymore. It's kind of waste the energy, good energy, and all of that. So I think there's a lot of aggressive people out there on the road. And I think you can't help but be stressed out by it when, like you said, you've had a hard day at work or whatever. You get behind the wheel and there's all this traffic. It certainly seems like something that would be very practical and good for people.
Yeah, that is one of the factors. We looked at the factors that made people stressed while they're driving. We actually spent about 2 years researching this CD with focus groups. And we did look at the factors that stressed people out, and some of them were internal. It's like I said, it's easy to get in your car and start obsessing about a political event, or I wish I'd said this, or I wish I'd said that. And it's easy to get in your car and think about something that happened or something that might happen. And then there are the external events. There's the traffic, there's bad road conditions, there's traffic jams. And then people cutting you off is a real stressor.
Of course.
And I think that we can't always stop how we react. Our initial reaction, we're probably going to get annoyed.
Right.
Unless we're one of those rare people who are always calm and serene.
Exactly. I know a few people like that. Yes.
So our goal is to help people acknowledge that they're stressed and then get over it. Don't focus on it and don't react. Because when you react, that's when driving becomes dangerous.
It does. It's very, very close to the yogic thinking, that idea of reining in the mind. The mind gets
Yeah.
all crazy, and you kind of pull it back in and try to not, I mean, it's human nature to react, is what you're saying. It's human nature, as we say in yoga, to judge or these various things, but we attempt to rein that in.
Yeah,
You know.
and I think that's the best you can hope for.
Right.
And you know, a lot of it is being mindful of your driving. You know, where are you now? You're just in a little bubble of time and space.
That's right.
And that's where you need to be.
Yeah.
So being mindful, there's different ways you can help people be mindful while they're driving. And again, this is going to be different than what you're going to use in a relaxation product. We aren't trying to relax people.
Right.
We want people to be alert and focused
And calm.
and maybe having fun. You know, people report they listen to this CD and it makes their journeys more fun.
Yeah,
You know,
a little more enjoyable.
Yeah, it's more fun. There's music to listen to. Like I said, we have 2 R&B songs that are kind of humorous. And people report that they enjoy their trips more.
Absolutely. It almost seems like a good idea to me to promote these through companies where they actually give these to their workers.
I think that
They
would be
leave
great.
at the end of the day, they plug it in. Who knows? You know, that could change the whole scenario for a lot of people who are driving home, and the traffic is terrible and stuff. So, like you said, it's external, it's also internal. It depends, like you said, what kind of person. I have my good friend Lois, who, you know, never gets ruffled over anything. And there's others of us who are more anxious. So, yeah, it comes from all directions. But the main point is that you're able to utilize this technology to actually calm people down, which is pretty amazing. It's
It is,
connecting
yeah.
technology with the body, in a sense, and I
Yeah,
love
it is.
that.
So we all spend a lot of time in our cars now, and it makes sense to use that time constructively.
True.
You know, use that time to actually de-stress, to arrive somewhere feeling calmer.
That's a great way of putting it. You're actually allowing that time in your life to do that.
Yeah,
You know-
that's what we set out to do.
I like that.
And like I said, the tracks are very different. One thing we did learn when we have, you know, we've been doing this for over 25 years, the relaxation things, not the driving CD. And one thing that we've learned is people are unique. They react to things very differently. You know, a simple example is your narrative tone. Some people like you to speak kind of like this in a monotone without too much inflection in your voice.
Yeah.
And some people want you to be a little bit more sing-song.
Right, okay.
But the people who like you to speak in a monotone can be really annoyed when you're too sing-song.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
All right, okay,
You know, 'cause,
that
you know,
makes sense.
We go onto Amazon, we read all of the, you know, we read our customer feedback, and it's just interesting, the things that people pick up on.
Right.
So usually in any product, we try to have different techniques, first of all, there's different stress reduction techniques, different narrative techniques, different background music, so people can kind of choose what they like and what they find helpful.
That's nice. A little smorgasbord of relaxation stuff.
Yeah.
Very good. What else can you tell us about this, Sarah?
Well, I think one thing that it's important to remember is to choose the tracks that you like. It's easy when you're stressed. You know I've listened to relaxation products and I think, oh no, this isn't working. And then I think, oh, am I doing it wrong? And no, you're not. If something doesn't work for you, if it's not that technique or that narrative style or that music, if that doesn't work for you, go on to the next one. Don't get stressed about our
Right.
stress reduction products.
All right, I hear
Yeah,
you.
just like-
And so you don't just want to plug it in and then, you know, sit through the part that's annoying
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
You want to just hone in on those ones that
Yeah,
relax.
just go into the ones that you like. And this is something that we also learned. I learned a lot about this when I was working with the child psychologists at Dana-Farber.
Yes.
And I'll give you another example. If you have a 3-year-old and you say to the 3-year-old, this would be directive, You say, okay, close your eyes. Well, some 3-year-olds are going to be like, no way, I'm
Right.
never going to close my eyes. And some 3-year-olds will close their eyes.
Okay.
Now, the other thing, so I might have a narrative that is more directive that way, where I'm telling them what to do, and then the other narrative would be much less directive. For example, I might say, well, now might be a good time to close your eyes if you feel like it, or maybe you'll feel like doing that later.
Right.
So you see that it's interesting that it will, one technique will work with one group of kids, one technique will work with another group of kids. Honestly, most of the kids don't care that much.
Okay.
But people are in stages of development, and it can change.
Yeah.
Like when a 3-year-old goes into a hospital, they may find it comforting if you tell them what to do.
Yes,
Other
okay.
ones, they already have, everyone's telling them everything to do, so they're going to prefer the non-directive approach.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah,
It
so
really does.
we used things like that we learned with working with the psychologists,
Yeah.
like I said, and
So you're customizing it in a way.
yeah,
you know.
so people can choose, and we spent a lot of time having these tested by focus groups.
Right. You've put a lot into this. You have a lot of professionals. You mentioned Dr. Cohen that you worked with.
Yes, that was on the relaxation
Oh,
stuff.
that's the relaxation
yeah.
stuff, yeah. Okay, so
So, but yeah, we tried these out, and like actually one of my favorite pieces is, it's called Everything's Okay, and it's set to some Americana music, which I love, and both of my daughters find it very annoying.
okay, see that? Yeah.
I think because it's me and they feel like I'm lecturing them or something. I get
Yeah.
that, Even at my age, I don't want my mother lecturing me. I get
Yeah.
that.
True.
So yeah, different things work for different people, but we've had a lot of good feedback from this.
Excellent, excellent. You're about to release this this new CD, right?
That's
it's
right.
not quite hit the
It's not, that's
stores
right.
yet,
It's just becoming available on Amazon, on iTunes. You can get it at our webpage, airy-melody.com.
Okay, very
You can
good.
hear samples, and we're hoping that it will be helpful to a lot of people.
Absolutely. And I know that, your focus right now is this driving CD, but you have produced these other relaxation
Yeah.
CDs, and people should know about that as well, that Sarah's produced CDs for children and for adults. Now, you gave me some samples, and I listened to them. Very nice. And I have a little cousin, a relative up in Nova Scotia, and she has a little girl who's had some problems. And I just sent her one of your CDs, so I know
Oh,
up in
great.
Canada someone is listening
Okay,
to
yeah.
your CD. We went international
good.
there.
That's good, because I was afraid you were going to say, and I listened to it while I was driving up to him.
Never.
Okay. So yeah, we have our relaxation CDs. We have one for 3 to 6-year-olds, one for 6 to 11-year-olds, and one 11 to adults. And these are also available in Portuguese.
That's right.
So yeah, we spent a lot of time getting these reviewed by experts, and their input was absolutely invaluable. So like I said, I did learn a lot of things for that, and I used some of the things I learned in this new product. But this new product is very different for us. In fact, it's really the first one in the world. It's patent pending, it's the first of its kind, it's a stress reduction CD, and it helps you relax, it helps you be more focused, it helps you enjoy your trip more, and be more mindful of what you're doing, and be less reactive to other drivers. And all of these things also make you a much safer driver.
It just makes so much sense, Sarah. That if it accomplished those things, how much safer the roads could be, if people could just calm down.
Yeah, that is kind of what it is. Just
I think it's
we can
exciting.
calm down.
I think it's exciting that it is like first of its kind. Now listen, as a yoga teacher, I know that we have stacks of relaxation CDs at the studios. But this is quite different.
It is very different, yeah.
It's really kind of profound when you think about it like that no one has actually ever done this before.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it was kind of a chance to use my knowledge. You know, I tend to I'm a musician, so I do write music. I'm a writer, I write. And because, like I said, I'm just not naturally this relaxed person, I spend a lot of time figuring out, well, what can I do to make myself feel more calm? It's kind of like you probably wouldn't get dieting advice from someone with a really fast metabolism. Right? What do they know?
That's right,
So,
exactly. You're right on, yeah. And you know, I find that too in the yoga practice. You know, I have some people that love to be in Shavasana, lying in corpse pose there. I have others who detest Shavasana. That's the worst pose for them because they can't lay still.
Wow.
And like you said, for people, some of us, it's harder to sit still than it is for others to be calm. It's definitely harder for some than others, you know.
Yeah, people are very, very different.
They are, and you found this with your research.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Sometimes I'll listen to some product, and I feel like they just think we're all the same, you know, and like it doesn't work for me, and then I go, what am I doing wrong? Right. Well, it's just not for me. That one wasn't right for me. And I think that's key, finding what works for you. So, like I said, we have a lot of different diverse tracks, and you probably won't like some of them. I can guarantee that. But I think everyone will find at least a few tracks that help them.
It's a very interesting approach to take, and to say that you know that someone. Yeah. I think it's excellent the way you've addressed this whole thing on one CD. And
that's true. You probably don't usually give someone a product and say, now you're not going to like part of it. I'm just telling you right now. Just
imagine
so you
a rock star coming out of it. You probably won't like it. But yeah, because it's so individual, that is perfectly.
It is. People are very, very unique and very different, and we need to respect that.
Exactly. So what's your plans from here? What do you do from here, Sarah?
Well, I have a few other ideas. Working with, well, actually, they're going to be patent pending too.
Okay, very nice.
So I do have a few other ideas of things I want to do. I need to promote this.
Yes.
And actually, I just finished training my dog, who's part bloodhound, to be a certified therapy dog.
Yes.
So this is kind of our busy season. Okay. People have certified, they volunteer. They're volunteer dogs. So this is the season when we go and we visit a lot of colleges. She's going to MIT, she's going to Harvard, she's going to Berkeley, she's going to BU. She's very, very smart, smarter than me. So great. Then, and I had kind of I am an ABA therapist, which is an applied behavioral analysis, and I work with autistic children, and I did take some time off from that at the end of the last school year to work on some of these ideas. So probably I will start working again in January.
Very good. So these, some of these relaxation CDs we're talking about, getting back to that for a minute, good for the children on the spectrum as well then.
Yeah, they work really well. I was surprised how well they work with children with autism. I mean, there's a big push now for autistic children to have a calm body. Yes. And if you can teach an autistic child how to calm down, that's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing to do.
Yes.
And if you can teach them to recognize before they get upset, that's when it's key. Once you can teach them, oh, I'm getting upset, I should take a calm breath or whatever it is that calms me down, that's when you've really done your job.
Yeah, I think it could be so useful with this population. And I know a lot of these kids, because I have a son who's disabled who has many friends with autism. And yes, I could see how this would definitely be a good thing for them.
Well, I will give you CDs.
And I will give them to some of those parents, because I really think they would be able to utilize that.
Yeah,
you all know how that goes. Before the meltdown begins, as you said, you introduce something like this.
Yeah, I've used them with a lot of my clients, and I don't know why I didn't think they would work as well as they do with autistic children. Yeah. But they really do, even just the music.
I would say,
yes. And depending on, what level the child is at, you might choose a CD that's for a younger age.
Yes. Because it is somewhat subliminal too, you know, I mean, some of what's going on, so it's not, they're not always conscious that it's helping them, but it is helping them.
Well, the music that we've produced is actually relaxation music, and there's a lot of research that goes into what makes music relaxing. Plus, it's something I've just always been interested in. I've always studied with different groups of people.
Yeah.
So there's, you know, there's things, for example, the beat, the tempo.
Yeah.
Your heart tends to synchronize with the tempo of the music.
Wow.
It's called rhythm entrainment.
Wow.
So like for adults, you want your tempo to be at about 60 beats a minute. And for children, I do more like 65 because that's their natural resting rate.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't mean that if you put the music, you're automatically going to invoke the relaxation response, but it can help.
Right.
And also the keys that you have music in, the kind of instrumentation you use, all of that has a lot of bearing on what makes music relaxing.
It's a lot of different factors, actually.
There's a lot, and they're always doing more and more research. In fact, some things I assumed, like I thought that I also write songs, and I have sort of relaxing songs in the children's CDs. And I always thought that once you have a song with lyrics, that when you hear the music, that the thought, or you know, the feeling you get from the song will continue, even if you just keep playing the music. So if you don't hear the lyrics.
Right.
So I did that with my music.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, about 10 years later, they did research that proved that was true.
Very interesting.
And another thing people like is to know the music already or be able to anticipate it.
Okay.
So, and this is not true of every single person.
Right.
Like a jazz musician may not like that.
Right.
But this is sort of the general public is more apt to like music if they kind of know what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Well, we all like the old familiar songs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same idea.
And then there's the sound effects. There's the waves.
Yes.
I actually recorded crickets in Upton.
Yes.
So that, because I find that sound very relaxing.
Yes.
Well, I tried to, I couldn't do it, so I hired someone else to do it. This guy had insomnia, so he just kept getting up at night. And
I so relate to
yeah,
that.
because, you know, it's like, you know, because I try and record, there'd be a car, a plane, and
Right.
one day I went to see him, and he's there, I got it, you know, so.
Perfect. I think everybody loves that sound of the crickets and
Yeah.
the waves, and you know, I use it a lot in my yoga classes. I find it very relaxing myself. You know?
Yeah, it is interesting, and different people react to different sounds. And that's something that has a lot to do, like working with the elderly with dementia. Certain sounds are more relaxing to different people.
Okay.
And so that's like, for example, I was working with a man, and he was pretty deep in the stages of Alzheimer's, and he had a cat. And he was getting so that he was very agitated. So I went home and I recorded my cat. And I played it for him, and then I gave him a little cat he could hold and pet, not a real cat.
Wow.
And that relaxed him. So there's just all sorts of things and
That's a
all
great
sorts of
idea.
research. So yeah, I'm interested in Alzheimer's and have some ideas of what might help with that too.
Oh, I think that's such a great road to be going down, Sarah, because it could help so many people. And it
Yeah.
is such a sad illness. And, you know, I
It
took care
is.
of a man like
Oh, it is so
it's
sad.
very sad.
It is very sad.
So,
yeah.
the music piece, because, you know, it can trigger things and just maybe make them feel better.
Yeah, people go backwards in time. So like I used to go sing at Alzheimer's units kind of as a volunteer. And sometimes there would be someone who hadn't spoken or sung or anything, and I'd just sit there and sing their ABCs, and they just started singing ABCs because they had gone backwards in time.
That's right. So the brain goes back to that place where
Yeah.
it was. So very interesting. I'm really curious to see how that pursuit will go, Sarah.
Yeah, I am too. I'll tell you on one of your shows.
All right, you'll be back then.
Okay.
It's been really great to have you, Sarah,
Oh.
on my show. Thank you for coming
Well,
and
thanks for
sharing
having
this. I
me.
wish you great success with your driving CD, and I encourage everyone to go out and buy it.
Oh, thank
So it's
you.
available on Amazon.
Yeah, it's
Correct?
on Amazon, iTunes and on my webpage, CD Baby. And I will mention, it's a great gift idea. And if there's someone on your list who is very hard to buy for, and I think we all have someone like that, they don't have this yet.
That's
because it's
right.
brand new.
That's right.
So.
It'd be good, just in time for the new year, new happy driving,
That's
right?
right. Let's all calm down.
Let's all calm down in the new year.
After the election.
That's right. We'll all need a CD. Thank you very much, Sarah.
Well, thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. So we begin here today, as always, by drawing the attention to the breath, noticing the rise and fall of the breath. So as you relax in Shavasana, you may like to hear some gentle music playing, or perhaps one of Sarah's beautiful relaxation CDs. And we just bring ourselves to a calm and quiet place. So for a moment, just bring one hand to your belly and one just below the chest at the top of the ribs, and just taking a few breaths. You can notice the breath in the body, in the physical body. On the inhalation as the abdomen rises, movement up the chest. And on the exhalation, that just release of the back body and the abdomen descending. So let's just take a couple of deep breaths, just taking a nice full breath. Long exhalation. Again. And just releasing the hands to the sides. Just noticing your normal breath. Extend the arms, reaching behind you. Bring one to each elbow and just relax. And then bring the arms up and down. And now just release your blocks, just letting the legs go long. If you've been in Shavasana, you're all set. And extend the arms and legs. Exhaling down. Bring the feet to the floor and just gently rock them back and forth a little. And then coming back to center and just moving the head back and forth a little bit. And then coming back to center. So just to come up, and if you have a bolster, move it off to the side. And if you have just a pillow, move that off to the side. And then just come back down. Extend your arms and legs. Exhale down. So let's do some pelvic tilts. So pushing the small of the back into the floor as we raise the pelvis towards the face. Relaxing. Again. And let's just hold that there a minute. Make sure your toes are up and your heels are centered. And then releasing. And again, extending the arms and wiggling the fingers and the toes. Wiggling, wiggling, wiggling. Spread them wide. And then bring the hands down. Bring the feet up to the floor. Bring your block to the middle. We're going to work with the blocks a little bit today, so bring that to the middle of the thigh. And bring your arms either to a T or a slight T, wherever is comfortable for your shoulders. Always modifying so that you are doing what you're able to do. bringing the knees up towards the chest. We get that nice feeling, sensation of that inner rotation of the thighs when we use the block. And that is important in plank or in Garandasana, which is an eagle pose, these things. Now let your legs go a little to the left. Keep your shoulders down, only as far as they'll go. Come back and over to the side. So you get a little more sensation through the hips with this block too. And then coming back, bring that down to the floor. Extend it with the blocks and extend the arms and legs. And exhale down and bring your feet back up. And then just lift the feet a tiny bit off the floor. So again, bringing the hands down beside you wherever it's comfortable. We're going to lift. So less is more, so we're just going to lift a little tiny bit. And feel the abdominals engaging. So just letting that rest sit there a minute, and then bringing that down to the floor. And then just releasing the block. Extend your arms again, and legs stretching, and then down. Bring the feet back up to the floor, and draw the knees in and cross at the ankles. Widen them a little with the hands, fingers pointing towards the feet. And as you roll around, inhale, exhale back. Inhale. Exhale back. Again, inhaling, exhaling back. And now just try to maybe squeeze that in a little. So if you can just hold the back of the thighs, the front of the thighs, or you can even draw in the ankles. And then release the legs down. Extend the arms and legs. Exhale down, bring the feet back up, and draw the knees forward with the feet towards the wall, and point and flex, point and flex, and point and flex. And then just make some little circles with the feet, and again the other way. And then drawing them up, bring the hands through the middle to the outside of the feet in Happy Baby, and just rocking back and forth a little. Bring the soles of the feet together, toes pointing up, draw them in wherever you can. Just stretching that inner groin, and then drop the feet to the floor one at a time and extend the arms and legs. Exhale down. Once again, bring your block and position that between the thighs again. Bring your hands down and walk the hands down so that the shoulders move down and back away from the ears. Press down. As you do that, they widen against the floor, as you see, and then lift up with the pelvis. Let the chin come down to the chest to create that Jalandhara Bandha, that energy lock in the throat. Lifting up. Again, we notice that inner rotation of the thighs. Coming down, release the block. And let's just roll over and come up to a seated position. So bringing first the left foot and then the right, making them under the knees as much as possible. And then sitting tall and just begin to rotate. Inhale around, exhale back, little spinal rotation. Exhale back, again. Exhale back. Coming around to the middle. And then inhale, take your head left, exhale right. Inhale left, and exhale right. And bring it back to center, and then lift the chin a little, not too much, and then drop it, keeping the neck long and straight. Bring the head up, tilt it to one side, stretch that other side of the neck there, back up to the center and over. So just stretching. And then coming back to the center. Let's fold forward. Yeah, stretching over those hips. And then coming back up. Now let's take the block and see if you can, we'll try lotus like a little revision. So I just put that on a little diagonal so I can keep this foot under the knee as much as possible, and just letting that sit on top of the block and giving us that sensation of where we want to be. Now this isn't easy, so for some people we got to practice this, but I just continue to practice. So I bring that up there, I inhale up, I exhale down. I try to keep that foot under my knee, inhale up, and exhale down. So just trying to release that leg. Again, inhaling up, exhaling down. So you can practice that a little. And I also like to bring my hands beside just to kind of square the hips in to get the sensation of how that feels. And then extend the legs long and just tap the legs. And now bring the left foot and then the right. And bring your hands to the center. Inhale through. Close the eyes, exhale back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale back. Coming back up to the center. Bring your right hand to your left knee, and as you twist, just move back into that twist position. And then coming to center, opposite way. And then to the center. And now we'll just bring one hand down, the other up, and stretch. So we stay grounded here. So we're grounding down. That encourages that root chakra that gives us nice stability and centeredness, focus. So just going the other way and coming back. Now let's come up to the mat. Let's take off the blanket and just set that aside and have your blocks here. And let's come to the front of the mat. First, let's bring these down like that. Let's take one foot forward onto the block. The other knee is behind the hip there. So we're just doing a little bit different here, giving us a little slightly different sensation. We still try to keep the knee basically over that ankle. Extend up, interlace, raise the palms towards the ceiling. Exhale down. Keep the back foot straight and flat on the floor. Bring the hands to prayer. Twist towards the bent knee. And just take a little moment there, take a breath. So just that twisting action, great for releasing poisons. We also got a little balance going on here. And then coming back and releasing this down. Bring that back leg back and the other foot forward. So I'm just adjusting myself, so I'm in a good place here, as you will do. And then extend up, use your opposite forefinger in front. And then extend up. Exhale down. Hands to prayer, twist to the other side, and just take a breath there. Couple breaths. And then coming back to the center, release that back. Set the blocks aside for a minute. Come to a table position. We're going to do a flowing cat-cow, so we inhale here. Exhale back. Drop the elbows, inhale. Exhale back. Inhale, exhaling back. And then coming up so that your shoulders right over the wrist, hips over the knees, just wagging back and forth a little. And then coming to center and just doing some little circles with the hips. Doesn't have to be big. And then the other way. And then coming to center, and just bring the hands down like this so that their edges are on the floor. And then place the crown of your head there and tuck your toes and come up into this pose. Just half headstand. Take a breath. If you're able. Now, if your neck can't do this, that's fine. And then come down. Come to child's pose and just stretch the arms. Take a block and put that under your head. And this may make it easier if child's pose is difficult for you to just rest on the block. And then coming up. Now let's take the block and just put it between the legs. Now you may need two, so it kind of depends where you're at. And just put those between the legs and sit back comfortably on that. Extend the arms up, interlace, reach up, exhale down. Inhale, roll the shoulders. Exhale back. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, exhale back. Reach across, stretch the shoulder, come back. Again, stretching it. And then back. And this time, bring one hand to the floor, and as you lift, just reach over. Come up off the blocks. Come down. Reach over. And then back. And now let's come up off that and just bring the blocks back to the front in this position. Bring the right foot forward and let the left be back there nice and straight. And again, the knee is behind the hip. And then tuck that toe and come up. And if you can stay here, this is fine. In a high lunge, if you can come up a little further, that's good. And just stretching that back leg nice, keeping this that nice and firm, and the front one parallel. Don't put pressure on your knee. And then draw the arms back in jet airplane. Chest comes down to the knee, there, down to the thigh, and then just taking a breath. Bring the hands to the blocks, drop that back knee, bring the other one back, the left one forward. Again, tuck the back toe, coming up into a high lunge. Staying there, that's just fine. Or bringing yourself up and into jet airplane. And then coming down, drop the back knee, bring the other one back. Again, bring the block under, rest in child's pose. Interlace your hands and rest them on your back, lower back. And then coming up. Okay, so let's try another one thing with the blocks here, a little different. So we bring those blocks there. We're going to bring the hands on them. Make sure they're pretty wide, the sides of your mat. And then making sure that you have the proper alignment of the hands, so we're not doing this. We're doing either parallel or outwards, depending on your shoulders. I like to go a little out because that opens my shoulders for me. And then tucking the toes, we're going to come up into down dog with the blocks. Take a breath. And then come with them and come right into plank pose. Good. Keeping the stomach up and the buttocks down. Keeping your view in front of your mat. And then come back to down dog. And back. And then bring the knees down. And let's just come back. And let's just sit up just for 1 minute. On the back, on the back side there. And let's try bow. Now, if you can do this, good. If you can't, we can do a modified version by just lifting the feet. We're going to do it with the block. So you can do this just putting the soles of the feet. Or you can extend the legs upwards. And then releasing. You'll feel that a lot through the hips. Adding that block really makes an intense difference. Okay. So let's come and put our blankets down and have a few minutes of meditation, and then we'll have a little shavasana. So let's bring our blankets down, and again, I refer you to Sarah's airy music and her beautiful relaxation CDs for adults and for children. So she has put in an amazing amount of research into these products, and I really think it's worth you checking out. So let's sit on the bolster, or sit on your pillow, or sit wherever you like on the floor. And just coming to this Sukhanasana, this simple seated position. If your knees are up here, you want to support them with blocks. We sit towards the edge of the bolster, bring the hands up. Close the eyes. Bring the attention to the heart chakra. Right at the center of your heart, envision a beautiful green lotus flower there, emanating green light throughout that area. Now the heart chakra is associated with the element of air. And it's associated in the physical body with the heart, the chest, the arms, the hands, all that area up there. And it can be related to physical problems like high blood pressure, low blood pressure, heart issues, that type of stuff. So when its heart is closed, you might feel cynical, jealous, these kind of bad negative emotions, I guess. And when it's open, of course, we can love more and be more compassionate and kind and caring. So the seed sound for this chakra is yam. So we're going to do yam 3 times, inhaling to begin. Yam. Yam. bring your hands to heart center. And now we'll move to the mat for some Shavasana. So we bring the bolster, if you have one, under your legs and a pillow under your head. And we just relax the body. When we're doing yoga, whether it's at home or in a place where they teach yoga, we're in this little peaceful sanctuary, this little place of quiet and calmness. And although the world may be harried and kind of crazy out there, when we're in yoga, when we're doing yoga, we're more relaxed. We try to calm that down. We rein in the monkey mind. We relax the body. We relax the mind. We soften the feet and the legs. We allow the legs to feel heavy on the bolster. We notice that. We allow the back to relax, the shoulders to release. We soften the muscles of the face, allowing the corners of the eyes to release and the corners of the mouth to release. For a moment, just envision a brilliant white light above the crown of the head. We inhale and we draw the light towards the crown of the head. And as we exhale, we allow that beautiful light to flood the body, flowing through it and around it. We just allow the mind to rest. And now very gently begin to just bring movement to the fingers and the toes. And then we just roll to the side and just rest for a moment. Just resting with this feeling of relaxation and peacefulness. And we attempt to carry that with us as we move off the mat and into our day. And now let us come to a seated position. Sitting tall, bring the hands to heart center. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. Namaste. Thank you.